right when I fucking start. Uh, let's go in, fight. We go out fighting, I swear. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what to call this. Um, so I just went with trial by fire because that's pretty much what this is. I'll go into a lot of the details of what happened later tonight if I do go live later tonight. But let's just say I had a bit of an issue, with my audio. Which, if you're looking at this particular format, the way I do things, you might notice that's kind of an issue. But we'll go ahead and get past that. All right. So, if you guys listen to the Safety Doc podcast, safetyphd.com, his most recent guest was somebody named Jesus, I'm fucking up her name, Morgan, over at what is her thing? Rogue Preparedness. And she had a oh, you know what? That's something else I should have done. I should have fucking sent this out. Whatever, figure that shit out later. Let's not fuck things up. Let's not fuck things up. It's working now. Let's not fuck it up. But she had a guest post on her site, roguepreparedness.com. What's going on in the chat? Jesus. Audio's on. Okay, cool. Well, I think she's listening in the background. She's got shit to do. So I had invited her to come on. Which that would have been real fucking interesting, but understood. Because she did do a very good interview. I believe that was subtle signs of chaos, or subtle signs that shit's going wrong. It was a very good interview. But she had a guest post. It was somebody named Andrew, and it was about MREs. Now, if you don't know what MREs, that's an acronym. It stands for Meals Ready to Eat. And if you heard of it, it used to be exclusively for military use. Now civilians and preppers and all kinds of people. Well, shit, probably not now. What are we? 85 days before all hell breaks loose. But they're very convenient and I would say a good thing to have. Now, if you want to learn more about that, you can go to roguepreparedness.com or just type in Rogue Preparedness. It should be one of the first things that pops up. You can also find her on the Instagrams and Twitters. Rogue Preparedness or Rogue Prepared. I don't remember which one. I think it's different on one of the platforms. And I could talk just might be distracting. All right, Morgan, tell you what. I'll wait till I read the little paragraph that I wanted to read out of this book. We're getting to it. In case you wonder, like, this is what the sound the show normally sounds like. Trust me, man. Everybody here, anybody who's listened to me knows that all kinds of hell breaks loose when I start recording. All kinds of shit starts going wrong. But you can come in whenever you like. But I guess, yeah, if you're worried about noise or whatever, let's wait until I'm done reading the chapter. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is that I noticed something nutrition-wise. You guys have an idea of what my nutritional background is. I've been studying this since at least 2003, 2004, something like that. And I found a lot of things that I thought was good back then to be horribly fucking wrong. And now I'm trying to make up for that. But it's something I've studied for quite a while. And I noticed, I don't remember exactly what it was. Actually, let me see if I can pull that up. I was reading on my other device. Hang on. I just say we're gonna keep things simple, not fuck things up. You know, what first fucking thing I do? Let's talk about first things I fucking do about real quick. What are the things? This happened with TJMartinell.com a while back. Hey, we finally became kind of like friends online, like on a Twitter, Instagram, and stuff. And the first thing I think it was, I don't remember exactly what it was about. The first fucking thing I did, I end up getting to a fucking picking a fight with him. It's kind of the same thing with me and Morgan here. Finally, fucking fought each other. First thing we fucking do is get into some sort of conflict. Let's see. Well, let's make sure I have it. Yeah, roguepreparedness.com. That's her website. I'm gonna scroll down to. It had the macros on. That's what I noticed. Maybe most people wouldn't think about this. This is just where my head would go. All right, sounds good. Okay, cool. All right, here it is. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to read this specific part. If you want to read it, and I think it's a very good read, definitely go to her site. I think it's her most recent post. But here's what I noticed. The contents of one meal bag provides an average of 1,250 kilocalories, 13% protein, 36% fat, and 51% carbohydrates. Now, you guys, whoever listening, you kind of know my stance as far as, you know, dietary wise. I lean more towards the meat side of things. You know, fatty meats, maybe some leaner ones, whatever. Now, I'm not here to say that is a wrong way. As far as I can tell, there's two ways you could do dieting. You know, be fairly, you know, fit, let alone, you know, build up muscle. Now, my way, I've taken, you know, you want to get your protein. That's one thing you want to do. Always been a big proponent of it. It's literally the building blocks of your body. So one might say that's kind of important. That's why I noticed that protein content is, let's just say, a little bit on the lighter side. You know, I would say you get as much protein as you can. Now, your energy sources. You have fat and you have carbs. You can do carbs. And a lot of people, that's what they do. Drew Bay of Bay.com, he does that. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he did that as well. My own instructor, who is an amateur bodybuilder, who has a fucking standing six pack. You know, a lot of people, you know, myself included, will, you know, they'll work out for months just to get, you know, 1 or 2 days worth of a photo shoot. No, this guy pretty much walks around with a fucking, you know, with a fucking six pack in. You know, but that's what he does. You know, I still remember he was preparing for a competition. He was eating it in class one day. It was, you know, cubes of steak. I don't remember what cut, but it looked pretty lean. It was cubes of steak and brown rice. You know, and the dude is fucking shredded. Good on him. Probably still does that to this day. Actually, I need to get back in contact with him. But there's the other way, and I think is the more sustainable. I think it's a better way, and that's you get your energy sources from fats, whether you just eat meat and maybe it's fatty meat or whatever, or you know you do more leaner cuts and you know get dairy and whatever. By the way, huge fan of dairy. I love my cheese, but that's one way. Now, the book I'm about to cite. This is Hawk's Special Forces Survival Handbook. This is by Michael Hawk. He was a captain in the U.S. Army Special Forces. That means Green Beret. And I got this book back in 2003, 2004, something like that. It was $15. I checked on Amazon. It's $18 now. It's worth every penny. But But this is out of the food chapter, and this is something that I actually got up and I wanted to make sure I had it right, so I went and found the book, and I wanted to put that caveat in there. So here's the section he has, and before this, he has, what is it, killing his life, and he has this whole thing about hunting animals, trapping them, throwing spears, fishing, all this shit. Here's the eating plants area, and this is where we kind of got into, I wouldn't even say a disagreement, but it was more of a discussion. If I haven't made it plain and clear before, let me do so now. Eating unknown plants can be deadly, and he has that in bold. Look at it this way. 90% of the plants on the planet are not edible for humans, but conversely, 90% of animal life is. That was the point that I had kind of led with. Something I think is, that's probably an understatement, actually, come to think about it. And I believe what Morgan had to say was, like there are a lot of fresh, there are a lot of edible plants, berries, fruits, that kind of stuff, certain vegetables. And she's not wrong. She's 100% right. And as I said, it's always good to stack the deck. It's always good to have more options. More options you have, the better. That's for everything. And probably one of the most important aspects would be your diet. Especially if shit is hitting the fan, food starts becoming scarce. Ask me how I know. We continue. The other harsh fact is that plants simply don't give you enough bang for the buck. They do have nutrients in terms of vitamins, minerals, fiber, which I don't think you really need all that much personally, and maybe some starch and carbohydrate action too. This guy writes like me. Such nutrition for the survivor is a secondary concern, whereas real energy is in the form of calories is critical to the survivor that comes best in the form of meat. But if you find a lot of something and it looks like it might yield a large amount of food, then the taste test comes into play. Of course, this might warrant the ultimate risk factor, death. I don't know about you, but if you're prepping to survive, I think death is the last thing you want to have happen. Use all of your experience and common sense in trying to assess not only the quantity and quality of the potential food source plant, I can't read for shit, but also its danger criteria. Use what you know to be good and only after a taste test. Does it look like anything you've seen in the store or restaurant before? Does it look like any food source you've heard of or seen pictures of? Maybe there was something like it in that crazy local market you visited the day before you got stranded out in the bush. Maybe you saw a picture on the menu last week in that Asian restaurant. Bring it all to bear and evaluate the next steps, as it might save your life or end it. Now let's talk about the real dealio with the UET, and that's a whole other chapter. It's the universal edibility test. And I think for my audience, that kind of speaks for itself. He goes in a lot of different details there. But again, that's the book. It's Hawk Special Forces Survival Handbook. There's a link to it on Twitter I put out. Let me see. There's another message here. I've got to disagree with some of the stuff for what he's saying. All right. Well, that's why I invited you. Now I have my own thoughts. If you want to jump in here, feel more than free. Now we can address the. What was it? There are a lot of things, in the plant kingdom that you can get, in the wild, or you can store whatever. By the way, a lot of my canned provisions, a lot of my dried or vacuum sealed ones, a lot of it is from the plant kingdom. Beans, green beans, corn, potatoes, what have you. Pasta. That's one that has a pretty fucking long shelf life, being that it's fucking dry. So don't think I don't have plants ready to go. But and by the way, I lost my train of thought there. If it comes down to it, you want your options. You want as much on the table as you can get. But for my money, most of your nutrition is going to come from animal products. In case you're wondering, that's a truck that just drove by, probably with a lot of plant food in it. I'm in my car. I'm in Murder Hornet City. I got to work today. That's another reason it's going to be a kind of a short one or a test run. The other thing, now, I noticed, I was a victim of this too. Anybody ever talk about having crashes? Let's just say around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, after you've woken up about 6, 7, maybe 8 o'clock. After you had a big breakfast of, I don't know, cereal, eggs, maybe bacon, waffles with, syrup or butter or whatever. Maybe a sandwich, maybe you had some coffee, perhaps orange juice. I was that guy too, and I also had crashes. That's because that's what I later forget. It's not the coffee wearing out. Is that your body is running on carbs. It's using carbs for energy. I see you have a message more. I don't want to lose my train of thought again. So let me finish this. Then we'll get to you. See, and there it goes. Yeah, so you'll be fine for 4, maybe 5 hours. But then you'll start losing energy. That's because you burned up a lot of those carbs, and now you're, again, running out of energy. So then you need to eat lunch. And you're probably good for another 4 or 5 hours or so. Then you start running out of energy right on time for it to be dinner. Maybe you're having snacks, in the interim in between that. I was also that guy. I've noticed, just me personally, when I started getting most of my energy from fat sources, I have not had that issue whatsoever. Yeah, sure, maybe I've woken up, I drank too much, and I need to down like 5 gallons of fucking water in one sitting, like I did for the day after my birthday. But I don't have those crashes anymore. I don't have those energy outages, And it's not just me, I've got reports from a lot of people that are like that, whether they eat 1 meal a day, whether they eat 2. Hell, there's some days I just completely fucking forget to eat. That's happened before. I felt just fine. That's because your body gets fat adapted. It learns how to burn fat, which, by the way, if you've noticed, your body does not store carbohydrates. The reason is because it takes up more than twice as much space. Your body stores even carbs as fat. That's one thing. Another, oh God, what was it? Muscle mass. Now, this might sound sexist, but hear me out here. This is going to be a little bit less important to women. Now, again, there are plenty of exceptions. I know that. I communicate with quite a few of them on a regular basis. But for the most part, muscle mass is not as important for women as it is for men. Now, I don't know if you know this about protein, but if you're not getting enough, and especially if you're not able to work out as much, maybe you had surgery, you got hit by a car or something like that, so you're not able to do deadlifts like that guy that was on Jack Napier's show. If you're not getting enough protein, your body will start breaking that shit down. Let me tell you from experience, it ain't that much fun trying to build it back up after you've already lost it. So that was one of the main things I noticed though with that. What was it, 13% protein? I don't know. For me, try maybe like 40, probably 50%. Do I eat carbs? Actually, yes, I do. I had half a bag of chips last night, for fuck's sakes. Why? Because I wanted them. So I'm not poo-pooing that. I think, again, you should have some of that on you. But, for my money, that's going to be a lot more dense. By the way, if we're talking about you need to bug out, weight kind of matters. So the more dense you can get something, the better. And there's going to be more bioavailable. That's another thing I didn't even think about, but there's that as well. For the most part, stuff from the animal kingdom is going to be more bioavailable than stuff from the plant kingdom. So it even goes into more compactness. All right. Let's see what she had to say. Was she going to come on? I think she was the... Can you hear me? I have my mic unmuted. Oh, Jesus. Hang the fuck on. You're dumb. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Let's see if that works here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, boy. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, Jesus.
No, honey.
Well, we fucked things
Hello?
up again. It wouldn't be a show. It would not be a show. It wouldn't be a show until things went wrong. Let's try this.
Can you hear me? Looks like I'm still muted. Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello? Yeah, it's working. Hello, hello.
Your mic is muted. There we go.
Why are you talking? Can you hear me?
That's much better. Okay, now I can hear you. I'm sure the chat can hear you. Oh, Jesus,
Okay, sorry,
not.
what was that?
Well, fuck, I can hear you. It doesn't look like it's showing up on the chat though.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I just said it. If it would not be it wouldn't be a show if things didn't go wrong. Morgan is on the line here. Unmute and mute you.
Okay.
Let's see if
Good?
that works.
Can you hear? You can hear me, but nobody else can hear me?
Yeah, I think that's the case. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, that's good to know. Trial by fire. All right, well, let's do this. This is already devolving into the shit show I knew was going to fucking devolve into. Tell me whatever you had your own points I wanted to make. Tell them and I'll relay it on my end.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for engaging me in the conversation. Like, a lot of people think that I'm arguing with them a lot, but I'm trying to get better at conveying not arguing through text. But I like to have a conversation. I'm very straight and to the point of like talking, and so a lot of people, misunderstand that and think that it's arguing. So, thanks for not just getting mad and blocking.
That's because that's for a lot of people they are arguing. That's pretty much all they see,
Right.
So that I can understand, where you're coming from there.
Yeah. But I first wanted to actually, from the book that you're mentioning, he was talking about the taste test. And so for a long time, I think that the survival taste test of tasting the wild edibles has been a very popular thing because why learn about wild edibles when you can just taste test everything and just hope that it goes right? Unfortunately, that's not a great tactic to rely on. It could actually create more problems, not just death, but I mean, like very much, a lot of sickness. People can't, just because something is edible to one person doesn't mean it's edible to all people. And that's the same for most everything. And so,
Okay. You mind if I stop you there so I can relay this?
yeah.
All right. So what Morgan is saying is she's talking about the taste test, the universal edibility test that Michael was talking about in the book. I didn't get to that. He actually does go into a lot of detail about that, and what she's saying is that that may not exactly be the greatest idea. That could be, personal, works for you, may not work for somebody else. It's also a great way to get yourself sick, especially if you don't know what it is. And it's better to go with, knowledge that you have previously. And that he actually did make that distinction. Is this something you've seen that looks familiar? Is this something that's at least similar to what you've had before? Like, okay, you've had blackberries before, and you see wild raspberries, and it looks a little bit similar. They're at least at a better point there.
Well,
did I do that?
unfortunately,
Did I do your quote correctly there?
well, unfortunately, even what he's saying with that, I don't agree with it as well, because there are a lot of red berries that actually look like raspberries in the wild, but they are not edible at all. And so when you're trying to tell somebody, look at something that looks like something you've eaten before, that could be as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than just not eating it at all. And so every person I've talked to about wild edibles has always told me, avoid the taste test if at all possible. If you cannot positively identify the plant, then do not eat it. And in this day and age, there's no reason that we can't have books available for our region, and that we can't go out and actually positively identify those plants throughout the year and actually learn how to identify wild edibles at this time, before a survival situation even comes into play.
100%. What Margaret is saying is right. Even something that looks similar to what you're familiar with could be something completely different, or if not mostly different, and could be dangerous. There's no real reason to take a risk if you don't have to. And especially these days, that information is out there, She said region specifically. Okay, I'll give an example. Up here in Cascadia, we have wild blackberries that grow here. For the most part, those are edible. Well, let's say went to wherever Morgan's neck of the woods is. There may be something that looks like blackberries, but in fact, there's something that's, let's just say, a little bit more lethal. So I tell you what, I agree with that. Yeah, if you don't have to, then definitely don't. But
I mean,
to my point,
I feel like there are so many books these days that are just like, even the books, you don't even have to get like such localized information, but just even there's books that have like, national wild edibles, the top wild edibles or whatever of, the US or wherever you live or whatever, so even if you find yourself, in a completely unfamiliar area, as long as you have some sort of resource or some sort of back knowledge or something, it's going to be more valuable to you than playing the guessing game with your life of eating unfamiliar foods. So,
right. Okay. So sum up what basically she said. The resources are out there. If you're just just trying stuff, even if you think it's similar, there's no reason to play that particular betting game. Yeah, 100% agree. I'll go over the first 4 steps here that he has on the edibility test. Let me see. Hang on. There's 1, 2, 4, 8, 12. There's 16 steps to this, actually. The last step says this takes 24 hours. The first one is test only one part of the plant at a time. He's talking about the military edibility test, and he has his own take on it. Separate all the components: leaves, stalks, roots, flowers, fruits, bloods, etc. Hey, I noticed something. He did not put seeds in there. That's a good thing. The last thing you want to eat are the seeds. The reason is that if you just think logically, the seeds is what is the reproductive part of the plant. I don't know about you, but the last thing that if I were a plant, the last thing I want somebody to eat would be the goddamn things that lets my genes continue to go on, if that's even the right word for plant kingdoms or whatever. Smell for stronger acid odors. This alone cannot be relied upon. Do not eat for 8 hours beforehand. That's just the first 4 steps. There's 12 more behind that. And again, I don't think this Michael Hawk guy would disagree with you, Morgan, because he has a whole lot of his own thoughts on this. You know, I mean, this is only like an extreme case.
Right. In extreme case, if you've really run out of options, I mean, obviously you gotta do something. You gotta figure it out somehow. But you may want to rely on more, reliable sources. There's a lot of lookalikes out there, just because. And that's the other thing, with wild edibles, there are a lot of poisonous lookalikes. So even if there is a positively identified plant, like, oh, that's a, stinging nettle or whatever. Oh, well, there could be an evil poisonous cousin of it. So you better know the difference, right? You better know whether the leaves feel different. Oh, these leaves are fuzzy, and the evil cousin is supposed to be smooth or whatever. I mean, just these slight, subtle differences. Plants are funny, but
no, you're 100% right. Again, in case anybody can't hear you, what you say is, okay, if it comes to nothing else, then do this kind of stuff. But till it really comes to that, definitely don't do that, because you could have something that looks like what you're familiar with, but it could be something different. There could be different characteristics. And actually, I'll give you a example of that. Now, in here, he pretty much just puts the kibosh on mushrooms, pretty much for that specific reason. But I remember Hot Russian X, she actually knows quite a bit about mushrooms, and we went hiking in the Olympic National Park, where she saw some. I think they were chanterelle mushrooms. And one of the things she told me to look for is that if it has kind of a smoother stem, chances are that's edible. Now, I probably ain't fucking do that shit ever again. I only did it because, she picked them and she ate them herself, so I knew she wasn't trying to kill me again. But if it has kind of like rough, on the stem, the chances are those are poison. So, I mean, that's just an example. So yeah, I mean, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I won't even touch mushrooms. I won't even go near them at all. There's too many poisonous ones that look so similar, or just have like slight differences from the edible ones. I can't even go near mushrooms. It's too out of my league. I'll probably
I'm 100% with you. No, I'm 100% with you, man. I don't even like the texture. I don't like the mushrooms that are in the stores.
Yeah, same. I don't either. So, I mean, if I'm...
Yeah, that's already off the list.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to address, or any criticisms, or want to clear anything else up?
No, I mean, I definitely do agree with you about the protein. I think a lot of preppers in general focus on calories alone. And it really bothers me, because there's so much more to your overall nutrition, or what you need to intake and everything. That MREs, like you were saying, are very calorie dense, which is fine. You do need calories, and it has the carbs and the proteins, but so many things don't have a high protein, especially like freeze-dried meals and stuff like that. they actually may have higher protein and lower calories, and everybody gets up in arms over the calories. But I see the protein, and I'm like, yes, more protein. Give me the protein. And now I love carbs. I love my bread, and it's unfortunate that a lot of wild edibles and things they're very carb heavy. You know, like a lot of the plants, it's pretty much all carbs. You know, fruits.
Yeah,
And
got good
vegetables.
news for you, Morgan. It's not coming through on your end, but I guess I'm using some other. I'm using more than one mic here. It looks like your voice is coming through on my end. By the way, you should see the fucking setup I have right now, dude. This is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, there's an echo.
No, it's not echoing or anything. At least as far as I could tell.
Oh, okay.
But basically, I have a Bluetooth speaker next to the goddamn phone.
Oh.
The shit I've had to do to get on fucking line, and then people wonder why I'm taking a fucking break.
I mean, you're recording
yeah,
in your car.
You're right. Oh, sorry, you were saying something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're right. You know, yeah, you're right. You know, it's kind of like, and not to get too far off track, and I do want to just say, you know, again, you know, I think MREs, that is a good option. I'll say I don't have any of those personally. I don't have any of those 2,000, 2,500 calorie energy bars, whatever the fuck it is. That's probably a good thing to have, you know, in the back trunk, in your trunk or something. I don't have any of those. I do have a lot of canned goods, dried goods, vacuum sealed goods, both plant and animal. But yeah, I don't think of MRE is a bad thing to have. Now, to your point, something that I know it's a bit different. You ever notice how a lot of people, they're only talking about, you know, in prepping, you know, as far as home defense goes, they only talk about, you know, guns and ammo, specifically 5.56 and a 9mm.
Yeah.
Notice how they don't talk about a lot of other things. Let's say, I don't know, you don't have time to get to your, you know, your $2,000 AR-15 with $1,500 of attachments, you know, or whatever pistol you have, you know, your big Luger 9mm, whatever the fuck it is. Maybe you're in an area where that shit's not legal. Wouldn't it make kind of some sense to at least have some non-firearm related weapons?
No, that's
You know,
blasphemy.
sticks.
My firearm is connected to me at all times with my 2,000 rounds of ammunition. No.
By the way, good luck looking that shit across a mountain. No?
I agree. I think there definitely needs to be more options. I just helped with an article. I didn't really help. I helped with providing a photo, but it was 10 weapons that are not a gun, and I was seeing all these things, and I was thinking to myself, people see all these things as more tools, and they don't see them as something that could potentially help them in procuring food or self-defense or any of these things. And it's self-defense with a lot of these things actually requires a lot more training, like you know, fighting with a sword, or, you know, knife. It requires a lot more training than just pointing and shooting. Although pointing and shooting definitely requires training as well, 1,000%, all the time, all day. But that close combat is way different.
You know, it's what actually. By the way, couple things. You remember that couple in St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
One guy standing outside with an AR-15.
Yep.
His wife with the pistol that did not fucking work until they fixed it. By the way, they were standing out there, you know. Yeah. After they confiscated, I'm getting a little bit ahead about something. Long story short, they had a bunch of joggers sitting outside their house. They sat at a front lawn with weapons. and they ended up having the guns taken from them by the local police. Which, by the way, I think that's the Constitution. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. They had to actually fix the pistol that the wife was holding in order to get it to fire, to get I think a ballistic pattern or whatever it's called.
I did
Yeah.
not hear about that. That's insane. Wow.
Right? What's the problem with that, Morgan? Or specifically, how did the cops even know to confiscate the guns that they had?
Well, first of all, why did they confiscate them at all?
Honestly, I don't know, but that's besides the question. I mean, I know they're fighting that in court or whatever, but
The whole
how did the cops
situation,
know
they were have their now. If I'm thinking of the same couple that you're talking about, with the protesters outside and they were waving it around, kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no fires were ever, or no rounds were ever shot. Nothing was ever pulled. No triggers. Now they could definitely use some safety training. I'm gonna lie, but they were on their own property with their own legal possessions. So why are they getting arrested and their guns confiscated? I don't understand what's happening.
I'll put it this. I'll quote myself. I've been doing that a lot lately. The best resources, and especially weaponry, are the ones no one knows about. The reason, legally, whatever, we could argue about that back and forth. But by the way, I 100% agree with you. That should have never happened. But the only reason they got confiscated was because they knew about it. You can't take away something that you don't know about.
But I mean,
and
no,
that's been
I 1,000% agree with you. But I'm also confused at the fact that they can legally take away something that wasn't even involved in any sort of crime or anything. I mean, how are they legally taking away somebody else's possessions just because they were shown in a video and some pictures online?
No, I think that's something that all of us should be at least a little bit worried about.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. By the way, I got an even crazier story than that. You know who Joe Dolio is?
I'm not sure. Maybe. Refresh my memory.
Well, I'll plug his website now. You can find him, Joe Dolio, D-O-L-I-O. He was in the Marines. He's a martial arts instructor now, and he works at security. He works for security in, I don't know, some form. His website is tactical-wisdom.com. Me and him follow each other back and forth on Twitter. And one of the stories he ended up posting, he posted a lot of these. It was a story about some guy that's somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. He works on diesel trucks, which you can imagine if you work on diesel trucks, maybe you get a lot of diesel parts. So one day, he has a knock on the door. I'll just say this right now. As far as my thing goes, the only way the only way you're going to know about the nice weaponry that I have, the real good shit, is if you kicked out my front door, which opens outward, by the way. That's a nice feature my place. Anyways, he gets a knock on the door. It turns out it's somebody from Michigan State Police escorting someone from the Department of Homeland Security who wanted to look around this place for any, firearm-related contraband. You want to take a guess what triggered this?
It was the filters, all the filters that they bought.
Yeah. Oh, you heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah. It was these damn filters.
Yeah. Filters.
Apparently, apparently, for people who haven't heard this, some people have been taking diesel oil filters and they've been basically turning them into silencers. Something that he found out after he opened the fucking door.
It's
I think that's
wild.
great shit.
They're sneaky. They're doing these sneaky little things, and they have these sneaky little tags on certain items that are perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with me buying a filter, or even 10 or 20 or 500 if I want to.
Right.
but they are flagging it because it could potentially be made into suppressor. Okay?
Potentially.
Yeah. It's not like a bomb. It's just a suppressor.
Oh God! Don't even get me started with things that look like they could be bombs.
Yeah.
I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know about you. That's pretty fucking worrying. But this is why I get. This is why I get a lot of my shit cash, anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah, going back to other things people don't think about. There's one real important one that's kind of related to the whole nutrition thing. I'll bring up. No, we'll go ahead and get the hell out of here. Unless you had something else to say. You know, you talked about things that, let's just say, it serves more than one purpose aside from shooting, hot pieces of metal in one direction. How about a fucking shovel? Now, it's a good idea to have an e-tool, but just a nice, good old wooden shovel, that's a good thing to have around for plenty of things. Maybe, like you talk about, maybe you're gardening. Kind of important if you need to dig some damn holes. But in weapons terms, what is a shovel but a spear with a giant fucking blade on it? Trust me, I even sharpened mine.
I definitely wouldn't want to be hit or impaled with a shovel, that's for sure.
No. You can throw the damn thing as a spear, too. Ask me how I know.
I've actually thrown a shovel like that. It was pretty fun. Not at anybody, but
Allegedly, yeah. What we're gonna say is she did not, in fact, throw a shovel at a person here. That definitely did not happen. If anybody, hey, if the feds are listening here,
I'm just a gardener. I'm just a gardener.
Another thing, this is something I'm going to be getting soon. Where did I get it off of Amazon? Now I'm questioning that. You ever hear of wrist rocket?
Wrist rocket?
Yeah.
I think it sounds similar to something, but explain it.
All right. Well, I'm sure you know what a slingshot is.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to explain that. A wrist rocket is basically a weaponized version of that. I'll look for the one that's in my Amazon wish list. I'll put that up on Twitter when I get a chance. That's something, let's just say I got a bit of experience with back in 07, 08. Now, those typically use, you could use frangible ammunition or like clay ammunition if you just use it for target practice. But those things use 6 to 10 millimeter ball bearing rounds.
Really?
I actually used at about 30 or 40 something feet. I shot one at a mason jar or some other jar. It went through the damn thing. It cracked it completely fucking in half and left damn near a perfect fucking hole through it.
Wow.
That was the one back in 08. These things have improved in quality drastically since then. Now, I don't know about you, Morgan. Okay, maybe it doesn't have the muzzle velocity of a 6.5 Creedmoor. But I'm gonna take a wild fucking guess. You're not gonna want to be standing in front of one of those even like 100 fucking yards out. And one benefit that has, so you know how loud the report is for a wrist rocket? The band. That's it.
Wow.
Pretty fucking silent weapon. And you can reload those damn things pretty quick if you get enough practice.
Wrist rocket. So is it like the slingshot, but it's like it's kind of like a crossbow slingshot combined or something?
Put it this way. It would be like comparing Comparing a slingshot to a wrist rock would be like comparing, let's see. It'd be like comparing Kevin Hart to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Or Kevin Hart to The Rock. You can kill somebody with one of those damn things.
All right. Well, that's.
By the way, perfect. While everybody's worried about the guns and the ammo going out of stock, you know, kind of tying that whole point, everybody's focused on the guns and ammo. Nobody thinks about shit like this. You know?
Yeah, I mean, alternative
One more.
weapons, for sure.
Oh, yeah, by the way, crossbow, again, the feds listening, I have never done this, but if I were an assassin, crossbow would be a pretty fucking efficient weapon. Quiet, packs more energy behind it, you know, all that shit.
The main
Also
problem,
available on Amazon.
The main problem with a crossbow is reloading it. It takes a lot of time,
Yep.
a lot of strength. It actually is. It has a ton of strength, but it takes a lot of time basically to reload it. It's not like The Walking Dead where Daryl just magically has a new one, like, and he just pulls it back like, you know, it's nothing. It's just air pulling it back. It's not like that. Even for really, really strong men, it's a struggle. And yeah, so.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right. Unless you somehow got a fucking repeating crossbow or something. I don't even know if they make those. Actually, there we go. There's something else I'm gonna be looking up. Nick Shoeliners in the chat, by the way. What's up, Nick? Yeah, that's gonna take. It takes a long time to reload those damn things. So it kind of is a one-shot, one-kill weapon. You're not gonna keep running around like Legolas.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, firing those things around. Yes, Nick. This is Morgan. Morgan from RoguePreparedness.com. We had it wasn't a disagreement. It was a discussion. It was about MREs, and it turned into a whole fucking different thing. Well, that's what I do when I make new friends. I immediately get into some sort of conflict with them.
I appreciate the back and forth. I would rather somebody come out and just give their honest opinion, because every time I try to have a conversation with somebody, they always get like taken aback by the fact that I also have an opinion. And it's okay if we disagree sometimes, but we can both have opinions and it'll be okay, I promise.
You would hope so. Yeah, and hell, that's one. You know, you talk about learning, maybe from the mistakes of others. How about learning that shit before it even comes to that? That's one great way to fucking learn stuff. You know, if I'm wrong about something, I'd rather just be directive, you know, about it before I have to figure it out myself.
I agree, for sure.
You know?
Yep.
One final thing that people haven't thought of. This is something that I think I talked about, Dolio talked about, maybe a few others, perhaps even you. These people talk about, you know, they're gonna bug out. We got our bags, you know, ARs, and you know, all this other shit. How many of these people do you think, bro, could actually drop and give me 20 at a moment's notice?
Probably not many, but I'll totally admit I'm one of those people who would not be able to drop and give you 20. But I can run okay, so I guess that's a give and take. I don't know.
All right, well, I don't know. If you wanted my asshole pit, I would say work on that a little bit. Trust me, it comes in handy. But yeah, a lot of these people, you know, they you know, they're sitting on fucking pallets of ammunition, you know, and using another pile of ammunition as a fucking table to eat on. You know?
I definitely need to up my strength training, I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
Well, they can contact me offline. Nick is actually, glad he brought this up. He's up to 19. Good for you, man.
Thanks.
God, I think you're at 10 or 15 or something started. That's pretty good. I'm working with Nick, doing some helping about personal training wise. I actually used to be a personal trainer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, complete my own kind of a gym. Yeah. A I'm slowly coming out of retirement, so feel free to get in contact with me. Figure something out.
Well, you've
But,
inspired me. You've inspired me. I'm gonna work on my 20 push-ups. I'm gonna get started tonight because I actually used to be able to.
There we go. All right.
And then I
love
had
it.
kids, and it all slowly went downhill. So yeah, no, I need to work on it again for sure.
Okay. Question actually. Do you have any home equipment?
Oh no, I live in an RV. I have rocks outside. I have some bricks. That's about all I got.
There we go. Okay, you're already ahead of me. I was gonna say I can give you some ideas. You know, you don't actually need what I basically will work out with damn near exclusively is a pair of 50-pound dumbbells. One of my instructors gave me. That's how I got to the size that I am now.
Nice.
Well, I think I gained about 20, 25 pounds a month using just those.
Ah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, you can use other things. I've been making one thing that people don't think about again. Got any 5-gallon buckets?
Yeah, I use those.
Now, those can be incredibly fucking useful, but if we're just talking about exercise, you can fill it with water, by the way.
Yep.
Kind of important thing to have the tap stop running.
Yep.
And if you use water, I think it's about 50 pounds fully loaded. You want to go higher, you can go get stand. Last I checked, stand ain't too hard to find. Or search for that now. That'll get you up to about 65, 70 pounds.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you're right, you know. Different size rocks, tires,
yep, got that.
other automotive parts.
Yeah, that's all I've been doing lately is thinking outside the box of what can I lift. I mean, everything, so many things. I can lift my 1-year-old. You know what I mean? There's so many things that we can do. So that
Also be pretty heavy. I said they also be pretty. Yeah, you think I'm kidding? Yeah, small children.
Yep.
Take one of those and walk 50 yards. You know?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying you need to get super muscle. By the way, in case you didn't know, unless you're taking a shit ton of testosterone and steroids and stuff, you're not going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not going to happen. All you're going to do, I'll give you an example to look up. Look up Peanut Physique.
Okay.
Now, she's somebody that I promote. She's somebody I advertise on my main program. But she's somebody that, you can look at her and tell she's walking a walk. That's about as big as you're probably going to get, you know, if you're real hardcore about it.
Yeah. I honestly just want to be a little stronger. I don't even need to be like I'm not competing in any competitions. I don't care. I just want to feel stronger and be stronger. That's it.
By the way, you know, bulk and power actually they're not mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive. You can get a lot of strength without a lot of the bulk. That's how I know.
I totally agree with you.
DrewBay.com or Bay.com. He also makes another good point. One that I've worked with. You don't need to be in the gym 5 to 7 times a week, 3 hours on end.
Unless you're The Rock.
You do a lot of this stuff slowly and slowly build up, functional power. So it doesn't need to take, you don't need to drop your kids off at daycare, 5 days out of the week to get stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you do that, but hopefully it sets your mind at ease as far as that goes.
I totally agree with you. I need to get going. It's almost my kids' bedtime.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Actually, I was gonna ask you what part of the country you're calling in from. Actually, don't. You got any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
I don't think so. I really appreciate the conversation, and I look forward to more.
It sounds good to me. This is Morgan, Morgan of RoguePreparedness.com. Where he had a poll up, and I actually got 9 out of 10 out of it. So maybe it won't die if, the apocalypse. Morgan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Cool.
All right.
There goes Morgan. All right. I guess I'll go ahead and make myself